is Monday morning, and I am Rhonda Uretsky from Riverflow Yoga, and welcome to my midday mindfulness blissful warrior practice. It's a bit of a mouthful. It really got its name from a book that I wrote a handful of years ago called The Blissful Warrior, and it was a book about the practices that have helped me through many points in my life in being mindful and integrating yoga into a way of maintaining your calm in a crisis. I've been practicing and teaching yoga for, about 45 years now. Hi, Lisa. And so when I come to you here in the middle of the day, I like to bring you a little bit of a taste of the practices that help me to remain calm and mindful. Mindful is a big word. It's a big catchword right now. A lot of people think of mindfulness as something that happens in the mind, and that makes sense, right? The word seems to imply that this is all about controlling your mind. But I really think of mindfulness as something that happens all over your body, a way of managing your nervous system to keep you feeling like yourself. You know, when you're spun out of control, when you're really out of your character, you just don't feel very good. And the chances are the actions that you take and the decisions that you make when you are not in your place of character, your place of your own sense of peacefulness, aren't going to serve you very well. So the idea of being mindful is not so much to control your mind as it is to quiet your mind so that you can actually feel your own center, feel this heartful place which feels more like yourself. And there's no better way to describe it than you feel like yourself. So for me, this practice, this blissful warrior practice, has to do with breathing. Sometimes it has to do with meditating, and sometimes it has to do with certain yoga poses that just help to bring me back into focus. And every day that I'm here for you in the middle of the day to practice some blissful warrior mindfulness, it will change. I will be sharing with you what in the moment seems to have really calmed me. My son was asking me what kind of meditation cushion is best. He wants to start a more engaged practice of meditation. And so he first asked me what is the best prop, the best tool, the best cushion to sit on. And then he asked me which meditation practices should he look up. Like, what's a good place to start? So it really made me come back to this idea that I've always had and that I really want to put out to you as we start. If you have been a meditator before, if this is your first chance at meditating, your first try at it, if you're just new to it, I want you to have this idea in mind. There is no wrong way to do this. There is no wrong way to meditate. There is no wrong way to sit on a cushion. There is no wrong way for you to find a comfortable position for your body. These are all you finding your way. There are lots and lots of meditation techniques out there, and props and tools, and the soft implication is that this is the right way to do it whenever you attempt to do a meditation course or find a particular way of sitting, or the implication from the teacher is that this is the right way to do it and this is the way that's going to get you some results. And again, I would like to, in this atmosphere of sort of everything flipping around on us out there, right? The script on just about everything is now flipped. So I would like to flip this script for you. The script that there is a right way and a wrong way when it comes to soothing your own nervous system or calming yourself down or meditating, which is a practice of soothing. It's not meant to be one more thing for your to-do list, one more thing you have to judge yourself about in terms of whether you're doing it right or wrong, whether you should have been doing it for longer, whether you're sorry you didn't start this sooner. Those are the very things that interfere with your quiet mind. Those judgments about yourself, those mental beating yourself up thoughts. These are the very things that interfere with your desire to be calm and to be soothed. So if you notice those thoughts coming up, if you notice yourself having those background thoughts, sometimes they're not very loud thoughts in your head, but they're sort of there in the background. One of my favorites is this really sneaky, subtle thought of, I'm going to get better at this, right? It sounds like it's serving you. It sounds like it's bettering you, or it sounds like it's for your benefit. But the sneaky little subtle judgment that you're putting on yourself when you say that is, I'm not good enough right now. There's something about me that's not good enough just the way it is, and I will get better at it. I even want you to put that aside. I would like you, for the half an hour that we're going to be together here in this blissful warrior, right? Take those words sort of what they are. You're going to be a warrior of your own self-judgment. You're going to be vigilant about being aware of it. You're going to be kind and patient with yourself when you notice it. So you're going to be blissful about being a warrior, about accepting yourself. And not accepting yourself because that's as good as you can get. Accepting yourself because you already are good. You already are just fine. You already are really perfect. For the moment that you're in right now, you're showing up as the perfect expression of the person that you are. So, let's find a comfortable place for you to sit. Today I took out my trusty meditation cushion, right? The one that I've been using for about 30 years. And I sat on it and I thought, this is not comfortable. So rather than ask myself, why is it not comfortable? What's wrong with me today? What's different? Maybe I didn't sleep well last night. Those thoughts are the ones that send you spinning off into a place of not feeling good. I just decided to sit on the floor instead. So find a comfortable position for you. If you would like to sit on a cushion, one of the tips that I have learned over the years that actually does feel really good is that if you take a pillow and fold it, or you get one of these kind of cushions that has like a pleated edge, what you want to do is sit on that cushion in a way that tilts your hips forward. So a lot of people will take this cushion and sit in the middle of it, right, which puts them square in the middle of the cushion and doesn't give them this hip tilting forward thing. It just anatomically, for most people, feels really good to have your hips tilted forward. It tends to relax your lower back. So give it a try. Right? I don't want you to accept at face level anything that I'm telling you here. I want you to be open to trying it and seeing if it works for you. And also be open to noticing that something that feels good for you today in this moment might be different tomorrow. Not because you are better or worse today or tomorrow, but simply because things change, right? And that is something we are getting a very big awareness of in the conditions that are around us lately. Things change. And sometimes, like with evolution, they seem to change very, very slowly, and sometimes they just show up full blown. You're part of that. You're part of this changeable universe. And another intention that I really would love to put out there for you is that you, as a result of coming to these mindfulness, blissful warrior sessions, begin to find the joy in that thought, not the fear. As humans, we have this humaning thing that we do, which is that we don't like change, right? We tend to fear change. We like things to look like they're steady and solid. We like to be able to count on things progressing in a linear fashion. I would like to assert that what we're finding out now is that that's just an illusion. Things are always changing. Things are always in flux. We see it in our own bodies. Nothing stays stable inside here. There's always blood flowing and fluids moving around and cells regenerating. We are a changeable universe right inside our own bodies. So what I would love for you to get from these sessions is not just to accept the inevitability of change, which sounds sort of like a resign yourself to it. Maybe that's the first step, but wouldn't it be lovely to find the joy in change? Remember, you used to feel that way when you were a kid, right? Change was exciting to you then. So maybe there is something to this idea that change can be a really joyful ride if you learn to take the ride. Okay, so all my yapping here, and hopefully in that time you have been inspired to find yourself a comfortable position. Again, I'm sitting on the floor. Don't know how much you can see here. I'm actually trying to use my iPhone instead of my laptop to record. I think the video quality is clearer. I'm sitting here in this classic meditator's pose. Doesn't make me a better meditator than you. It just means that for today, this position is comfortable for me with my legs folded and one leg sort of on top here in this lotus position. Hey, Lisa. I like to have my arms relaxed. So sometimes that will mean my arms are right here on my thighs or the backs of my wrists on my knees with my palms facing up. Actually, that feels pretty good. You can try it. Another comfortable position that I like is hands in my lap. And I like to have the palms facing up. Usually it's the left palm under and the right palm on top. Feels kind of relaxing when the thumbs touch. You can give that one a try. If you are not sitting at all, if your comfortable position today is lying down, nobody's watching. Go ahead, lie down. And sometimes when you're lying down, at least for me, I find that having my knees bent and placing my palms on my thighs tends to be very relaxing. Helps me to let my elbow tips drop. All right, so all sorts of options for one purpose: your soothing, your self-soothing, your comfort. All right, so now all of the things that I'm going to tell you that help my body to feel soothed, you get to try. As I sit here in this really relaxing position, I'm aware of dropping my tailbone down a little bit. This is really helpful if you're sitting on a cushion and you're sitting sort of at the far edge of that cushion. Your hips are naturally going to tilt down. You can tilt them down a little more. I like to pull my collarbones wide apart. Imagery can really help you relax your body. So I love to imagine that my collarbones are in this kind of traction machine, and that machine is cranking those collarbones side to side until they end up looking and feeling like one straight line right there across the top of my shoulders. That feels super relaxing to me. Let your chin drop a little bit. And you'll notice if you let your chin drop a little bit that you probably had your chin thrust forward. This is an old stress habit. Again, most of us have it. Maybe you don't, but if you let your chin drop a little bit and that feels more relaxed, then you'll know that, yeah, you were probably thrusting your chin forward. You know, the other end of that I was thrusting my chin forward statement is, so what? So what? Now you're being blissfully mindful about it for the purpose of feeling better. Not for the purpose of being better. You're already just fine. For the purpose of really embodying this soothing, calm, centered, empowered person that you are. This is one of the really joyful secrets I find of practicing, having a blissful warrior practice, having a mindfulness meditation practice, is that when you feel soothed, right, one of the paradoxes is the more relaxed and soothed you feel, the more empowered you feel, right? You don't have to do a hard, impactful practice to feel empowered. The more you soothe, the more you feel like yourself is naturally empowered. All right, let's take some deep breaths. So in my practice, breathing has to do with just using the nose as the portal, but imagining that it's coming in right here through the back of the throat. So as you inhale in through your nose and hear it come in through the back of your throat, this really loud Darth Vader sound comes in. And as you inhale, you can combine that with dropping the chin a little and pulling the collarbones a little wider. And then as you exhale again through your nose, hear it passing through that hole in the back of your throat. And I like to combine this with dropping my tailbone down a little bit and lifting my chest up a little bit. Notice as I'm saying these movements, you don't see a lot of overt action happening on the screen. a lot of what I'm doing feels really strong to me, and it looks very subtle. So as you experience these little nuanced movements, you might notice the same thing. Suddenly you feel this great sense of stretching or opening, but there's not a whole lot that's actually looking like it's moving. It's a lot of internal traction that's going on for you here, internal openings. So again, inhale, hear it in the back of your throat. Exhale, hear it in the back of your throat. Drop your tailbone, drop your chin. You can drop your eyes if you'd like. And inhale. And exhale. And inhale, you're really focused on hearing that Darth Vader sound come in through the back of your throat. And exhale. Now as you just sit here or lie here, whatever it is that you're doing, I'd like you to assign yourself a number from 1 to 10 on the, let's call it the soothed nervous system scale. 1 would be very, very calm, almost falling to sleep. And 10 would be really activated, like something just hit you the wrong way and you're really about to lose your shit. So from 1 to 10, what number might you give yourself right now? The first number that comes up in your mind, that's it. Try not to let your mind start to second guess you. Right? The old conditioned mind wants to make you wrong. Oh, geez, maybe it's not 3. Maybe it's more like 5. Boy, I really should be at a 4. Gosh, what made me be at a 7? Before you know it, your mind is spinning you off into stress land. So, okay, don't beat yourself up even about that. Just notice it. Stick with your number. This number that I'm asking you to give yourself is just to heighten your own awareness of what you're feeling in this moment. And I'd like to tell you that it really doesn't matter what you're feeling in this moment, because from my experience of practicing and teaching yoga and mindfulness for 45 plus years, you can get to any place you want from any starting point that you start at. So in that case, it doesn't matter where you start, right? If what I'm telling you is that you are inevitably going to get the results you want from this practice, then it doesn't matter where you start. So you can be a lot softer about noticing where you are right now. Take a breath. Inhale. And exhale. No wrong way to do this. All right, so from this place of feeling very soothed, we're going to move into a couple of action poses, a couple of yoga poses, because I'd really like you to feel what it feels like to move your body when your nervous system is soothed, as opposed to getting right into exercise when you kind of wake up in the morning or decide you should get off the couch or think it's time to do it. What if you came at your physical movement practice from a place of feeling like everything is fine, totally soothed? I am absolutely going to get whatever results I wanted from this practice. So my whole job in doing this practice is to be present to enjoy it. All right, so let's start with cat-cow pose. So let's get on hands and knees, all fours position. I'm going to make some very minor adjustments here. If your toes are curled under, I don't know if you can see mine, uncurl them. Place the tops of your feet on the ground. And place your palms on the ground with your wrists directly under your shoulders. And your hands are about 6 inches apart. Now again, all of these instructions I'm giving you are not to make you right or to show you what you're doing wrong. It's to give you little tips on things that have felt more soothing to myself and to many of the people that I've taught over the years. So these are little tips for soothing yourself. So when your wrists are directly under your shoulders and you're lined up, You can lock at the elbows and rotate the inner parts of your elbows in towards each other. So you feel sort of locked in your arms and light in your palms. Your knees are 6 inches apart, lined up behind your wrists. Your hands are 6 inches apart. Your feet are 6 inches apart, lined up behind your knees. Now look at the wall in front of you and pick a spot on the wall where you say, this is the place where I'm going to keep my eyes. Now the first thing that might happen is your eyes move around from that spot and you're already thinking, oh, I'm doing it wrong. Nope, it's just where you are in this moment. So pick this spot on the wall again. And as you inhale, begin to raise your middle back, suck your stomach in, and imagine yourself trying to look for your own throat. So it's as if you're going to tuck your chin into that little hollow between your collarbones. Keep your arms locked and your elbows rotated inward. So you feel very light in your palms and wrists, and you feel really empowered in your shoulders and forearms, bicep muscles, and then inhale. Begin to bring your head back up, your chin, your neck, your chest. You're going to look at that spot on the wall in front of you. Let your belly drop and stretch your tailbone to the ceiling. Now go back to locking your arms at the elbows and rotating your elbows in. So even though you're stretching really hard to the ceiling with your tailbone, your arms don't feel strained. They just feel like they're bracing you here. And inhale. We already inhaled. Now you're going to exhale. Drop your chin, lock your elbows, round your middle back to the ceiling, and play this little game of looking for your own throat, right? If you had to see your own throat, how much would you have to tuck your chin? Feel the roundness of your back here. Feel how soothing that is. And inhale. Begin to lift again your chin, neck, face. Your breastbone and your face are now parallel to the wall in front of you as you drop your belly, stretch your tailbone to the ceiling, lock your elbows, rotate them in. And exhale. Oh, I'm getting my inhales and exhales mixed up. Guess what? So what? As you exhale, drop your head, tuck your chin, round your middle back to the ceiling, lock your elbows, rotate them in, hold the breath out. And now as you inhale, bring yourself back to center. Keep these movements really slow. You're not trying to get this done or get this over with. You want to be here and really enjoy every movement. And then release yourself back into your heels. So your hips are on your heels. We'll do a little child's pose. Forehead to the mat. Let your arms drop to your sides with your palms facing up. Bend your elbow tips, slump your shoulders, spot between your eyebrows to the mat, hips to your heels, and breathe. Inhale. And exhale. And inhale, place all 10 fingertips on the ground beside your knees. Pull your elbows down towards your hips. So it's back and down. And then very, very lightly, notice how lightly you can press into your fingertips to bring yourself back up into this seated position. So hips to heels. You know, if hips to heels is uncomfortable for you, you get to sit cross-legged. You get to find your own place of soothing, remembering that that's what this is all about. Soothing yourself, soothing your nervous system back into a place where you feel like yourself again. Inhale. You can pull your collarbones wide, right? You start to have these little memories of things that feel good for your body when you're breathing. As you exhale, drop your tailbone down a little bit, lift your chest up a little bit, drop your chin a little. So let's move into some standing stretches. So come forward and place your fingertips, just your fingertips, right? Try not to make it your palms. Again, this is not about right and wrong. This is about soothing or not so soothing. If you're in your palms, you're pressed into your wrists. You know, your wrists are made for doing this. They're these wonderful joints for rotation, but they're not so great for weight bearing. Whereas your bicep muscles, when you're in your fingertips, You can feel the tightening here in your bicep muscles. Now these are the ones that are really built for strengthening and for weight bearing. So you're in your fingertips. Drop your chin like you're looking for your throat. Lean forward into your fingertips. And then curl your toes under and begin to press back from your fingertips onto the soles of your feet. Let your head hang again. You're looking for your own throat. You still have your fingertips on the ground. Maybe your knees are bent. Maybe your legs are straight. No judgment. It just is what it is for today. Walk your fingertips in towards your toes, letting your head hang. Let your head hang all the way. And then slowly disengage your fingertips from the ground. Let your arms hang, your shoulders hang forward. You're looking for your throat. And you want to bring yourself up one vertebra at a time. Think about your spine as if it's a slinky. And what you're doing right now is stacking one coil of that slinky on top of the other, one at a time. Letting your chin drop and your head hang. And eventually you'll be standing and your shoulders are back. Different view, and now you're standing. You're all the way up and your head is back on top. Your arms are at your sides, your palms face forward. Let's check in on that collarbone pulling thing again and see if that works to soothe your body in a standing position. So you pull your collarbones wide and you let your arms hang as far away from your body as they're going to. Notice that if you're not forcing your arms in, which doesn't really feel so great, if you simply pull on your collarbones and you let your arms hang, they tend to hang pretty far away from your body, which seems like it shouldn't be able to happen, right? Feels like gravity should pull them down. But in fact, there's all sorts of supports for your body all around you, and this one keeps your arms limp and relaxed and far away from your body. Now tighten your thigh muscles and lift them up. Just like we don't want to use the wrists for weight bearing, we don't want to use the knees for weight bearing either. Knees are just like wrists. They're these beautiful, really miraculous, bendy joints that give you tremendous mobility, but they're not meant to bear the weight of your body. Fortunately, right above your knees, you have your quads, your thigh muscles. They are some of the largest muscles in your body, and they're perfect for weight bearing of your whole body. So you're going to lock your thighs by imagining yourself locking and lifting them up into your hips. And you're going to immediately feel the transfer of weight from your knees or your ankles to your quads. And you're going to feel a new sense of lightness in your body, which is another word for soothing. When your body feels light, when everything is aligned properly, and you're using your knees for bending and not weight bearing, and your wrists for bending and not weight bearing, you're using the muscles properly, your nervous system calms down. Can you imagine the agitation on your nervous system as you are about to injure yourself? And can you imagine the opposite? How soothed your nervous system is when your body is being held properly. So your body and your nervous system work together beautifully. And you're in control of all of it. All right, so we're going to do some stretching for this slinky spine that you have. Staying here in your relaxed standing position, you're going to start to come back into your body by pulling your fingertips down to the ground. So just pull as if you want to touch the ground and feel what happens in your shoulders and arms. They get really locked, and then it's really easy to lift your arms up overhead, clasping all 10 fingers together. And then you have like a pistol grip. Your pointer fingers are up and your thumbs are crossed. And see if you can play this game of imagining that your biceps are holding your head onto your neck. So you have to squeeze your biceps against your head, right? You can't have this kind of thing happening. You got to have this kind of thing happening, otherwise your head falls off, right? Turn it into a little game. All right, now right here, see how good it feels to stretch up to the ceiling from your pistol grip. Keep your thighs locked and lifted. You can rotate your kneecaps inward a little bit, so the strain of having your knees turned outward, which a lot of us do, just goes away magically. And just standing here and stretching begins to feel like freedom to you. Lean the weight backwards into your heels, push your hips and thighs forward, And then I just want you to ever so gently and carefully rock from side to side. But here's the caveat. When you're pulling to one side with your pistol grip, you're going to be pushing your hips to the opposite side. So these are very small, not very deep movements, but you're really swaying your whole body. You're pulling with your pointer fingers to one corner and pushing with your hips to the other. When you come back to center, inhale and pull up again, and pull with your pointer fingers to one corner and push your hips to the other, and then come back to center again, and pull up to center as you pull to the one corner, push your hips to the opposite corner. You know, you're like a poplar tree. You ever see those long, skinny trees that seem to be very straight sticks, but when the wind comes along, they're sort of able to bend in the wind. So they have this internal flexibility that from the outside doesn't show, but from the inside, they're really built to be very adaptable, very flexible. This is very much like what's going on in your body. Inside, you are built for this. You are made to be flexible and adaptable. And that's true of your nervous system being able to handle changeable conditions outside of your body as well. Stretch to the ceiling when you get back to center. Stretch. And now I want you to drop your arms down, right? There's nothing graceful about it. Just drop your arms. You know, let them bounce a little bit. And standing here again in this beautiful pose, which is called mountain pose. Your collarbones are pulled wide. Your chin is dropped down a little bit. Your tailbone is under a little bit. Your thigh muscles are tight and lifted. Your kneecaps rotated inward. And you're taking a deep breath. Inhale. Now rotate your palms towards the wall behind you and allow your chin to start to drop into that little hollow between your collarbones, and allow your arms to start to fall or to come forward, right? As if you're not holding them back anymore. You're going to bend a little from your waist. Your arms are going to get very heavy, being pulled. Notice how they can be two things at once, very heavy and also very light. Tuck your chin. Looking for your throat, coming down slowly, uncurling that slinky in your spine, and when your fingertips touch down, again, not your palms, your fingertips, bend both knees, place them on the ground in front of you, uncurl your toes and sit back on your heels, and find your comfortable position again. And I'd like you to check in on that number now. That a lot of times it's called the emotional activation scale, the 1 to 10, but I like to call it the emotional soothing scale. You know, on a scale of 1 to 10, where are you now? Take a breath. Inhale. And exhale. So I want to remind you, if your number didn't change, or if your number went up instead of down, you didn't do anything wrong, because there is no way to get this wrong. You're just here to do it, to experience it, and to feel the benefit of it. And the only way to do it wrong, if there was such a thing, is to think you're doing it wrong and to, berate yourself for doing it wrong. Let's not throw that level of judgment on top of this soothing that we're trying to not even accomplish. You're just trying to remember this soothed person that you are. And inhale. And exhale. And take a moment to close your eyes. You can lie down on your back if you'd like for this ending of our time together. I'm going to go back to my seated position because it feels good. Wouldn't it be lovely to be able to make decisions for yourself based on what feels good? I can promise you that when you are making decisions based on that, what feels good to you, you're acting from your heart and from your nervous system. And these are the things that will fuel the rest of your actions. You know, again, we're in such an interesting opportunity here where the script is flipping on us out there about just about every topic and every subject. So maybe we can flip a couple of these scripts on our own. Like you can flip the script that's been telling you you really have to work hard to get someplace, right? You have to keep knocking your head against the wall if you want to have a breakthrough. You have to push yourself out of your comforted zone. What if you would like to have an opportunity to flip that script right now and say things like, when I'm soothed, when I'm really calm, I'm at my best. I have my best opportunity to get where I want to be, get where I want to go. If I can accept myself where I am right now, and again, not accept yourself in the sense that, well, this is just the way it is and I have to resign myself to it. But no, really appreciate yourself for being here, for being who you are in this moment. If you can really get that practice down pat, that appreciating and accepting yourself, you're going to notice a very curious paradox, that in the moment of accepting yourself, you change. You don't have to work at the changes anymore. The act of accepting yourself where you are and as you are puts your focus on exactly what you want. And in your focus, you actually line up with those things that you want. So again, don't take my word for it. Practice this yourself. See if accepting yourself and no longer having hard goals that point out to you the things that you lack or the things that you think you should be or have or be doing in your life. If you no longer focus on those things, does your life feel better? Do you feel more like yourself? Do you feel more like this person that you're striving so hard to be, but really was always here? It was always here. It's just up to you to reconnect. So let's take a few reconnecting breaths. Inhale, remember, in through your nose. Hear it in the back of your throat. Hearing that big, loud Darth Vader sound. Some people like to say it sounds like the ocean or the inside of a seashell or Darth Vader breathing. You know, whichever sound seems to connect best for you. Pull your collarbones wide, let your chin drop a little. And then as you exhale again, out through the back of your throat, hearing that big, strong ha sound. And inhale. And exhale. And as you take the third breath in this sequence, ask yourself, sort of in your mind, what do I feel like doing next? Inhale. And exhale. Learning to manage your life or choose the conditions of your life based on how soothed it feels for you to go in that direction is a new practice for most of us, for many of us, for some of you who are here today. This idea that you deserve to be soothed and that you're here to feel joy and that things that feel better are actually better for you. This might be a big flipping of the script for you, but you could never have a better opportunity than right now when everything around you is flipping, right? Nothing around you is what you thought it was. Everything in your financial life, your business life, your family life, your social life, your diet, your just about every aspect of your life is now completely flipped around. So you will never have better support for you to flip this script in your mind. You know, the one that's been beating you up all your life, to flip that around, to ask the question, what would life be like for me if I actually felt soothed before I took any action? If I could remember that this sense of soothing is who I am. And you notice I keep pointing to this area. In mindfulness practice, we talk about the heart mind, right? And this is the mind that we're really talking about when we say mindfulness, not the conditioned mind, right? The thinking brain, the one that's full of old spinning thoughts and beliefs that may or may not be serving you. We're talking about this one, the intelligence of your heart, the heart mind. And this is what we mean when we say we have a gut feeling or we do things wholeheartedly. This is the intelligence that we're talking about. It's here. It's just been in the background for a pretty long time for most of us. But you get to flip that script now and experience what life would be like for you if you lived from the heart mind that never sees you as wrong, never sees you as imperfect, and never sees you as not doing the right things, as opposed to from the, the conditioned mind that just has so many judgments that don't really serve you. All right, so we are at the end of our practice for today. Gosh, I went over. I always do. It's really enjoyable for me to be here, so I like to leave a half an hour for this practice, and here we are at 45 minutes. I hope you were able to stay. If you're not, no worries, right? Don't beat yourself up about it. This practice lives on Facebook, and you can come back to it anytime you'd like. But I really do invite you to, again, from this place, taking the deep breath, checking in on that number you are, where you are on the scale, ask yourself, what would you like to do now? Because I can pretty much guarantee you that the thing that comes up as the thing you are moved to want to do now is the one you're going to be the most efficient and effective at. You are totally lined up for success in whatever it is you're feeling like is the next thing for you to be doing. Thank you. Much love to you, Lisa, and everybody who joined me today. Thank you for sharing my practice. That's what you're doing here. You're sharing, you're getting a little look inside my weird world of Blissful Warrior practice. Till soon.